And we are live, hopefully.
All right.
Possibly. Maybe.
Perhaps.
I hope so. Oh, yeah, we are live, according to this thing. All right.
Sweet.
Hey, and our stream health is green, so that's cool.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm Adam.
And I'm Slacker Steve.
And we're back for another Thursday night edition of Pop Goes the Show Live.
Yes. It's different than regular Pop Goes the Show.
Yes. Pop Goes the Show. There's slick editing techniques, Michael Bay-esque explosions, costume characters. We don't do any of that in the live show.
It's slightly more competent.
Yeah.
But only slightly.
Yeah, slightly.
All right, so you're gone last week. How's your week been going?
I don't know yet.
You don't know
it's
yet?
like I'm waiting for it like the flu or something. Like Monday hasn't even hit me, how bad Monday sucked. And it's like Thursday, so I'm waiting for it. Because Saturday or Sunday, it'll be like, hey, remember me on Monday. And it'll just be getting like bookended by Monday and Monday. Like, it won't be fun at all.
Well, that doesn't sound very fun.
Nope.
Nope.
How about yours? How is it doing? How is it doing?
Well,
How goes the show without...
Well, I tried to do it without you, but I was having so many technical difficulties, I kind of gave up. In fact, kind of a funny story on that. Like, you know how I do the Slacking with Slacker Steve segment before you come over sometimes? I did like a whole thing, figured out it wasn't recording. So then I started again, and it was stuttering and crappy. So then I started it one more time, and I assumed it didn't work. And then the other day I was just looking at YouTube, and suddenly I see Slacking with Slacker Steve, how the fuck does Klingon Society work? And I'm like, I didn't think I finished that. What happened here? It's like, I don't understand what happened there.
So it was literally Pop Goes the Show because, like, it's just surprise.
Yeah. So, yeah,
dude,
I was going to end up doing it without him, but unfortunately it just...
Sleepwalking, dude?
Yeah, just...
It's like Slacker Steve
be.
is Fight Clubbing himself by making episodes when he goes to sleep. That's great.
All right, so what are we going to start talking about today? You got anything on your mind?
Yeah, I know. I got some notes, though. Yeah, I made notes.
Nothing on your mind, but you got notes.
Yes, I got notes.
It's always good to have notes.
Let's see, wait.
I also have notes.
So, like, there's some sports ball games that people were mad about. Some stuff in the NFL that people are like really upset about.
The NFL is that like basketball?
No, I think it's the one with the little puck.
Oh, okay, the one that Canada really likes.
Yeah, somebody shot a 3-pointer into the rough and clipped it off the uprights and didn't score their 3 points or something.
They didn't score their touch goal.
Yeah, and so fans are petitioning for a redo. They're literally petitioning for a redo, which I, in my lifetime as a non-sports ball observer, but I know for sure that they don't like typically do that with, like, you know, the chili bowl or whatever it is thing. I don't. It involves chips and dip, and that's beside the point. But their big thing, like it.
The one thing I do like about my football friends is they always have snacks.
Yeah. That's so I like. You didn't watch the game? I have no idea, dude. I don't even know. I went to like 2 sports things last Super Bowl, whatever, Chili Bowl day at the end of January every year, and I don't even know who's playing. I don't even know what I went to go see. I was like, well, this is fun. Nachos. Ooh. I was like, wait, there's beer too? Okay, well, I don't care. Whatever. Just.
Well, we all know the greatest RPG game of all time is Madden 08.
Yeah, fight me on it.
So I guess some sports ball happened, and
people are mad.
Yeah.
And they want the game to be redone, or they want to have their own competing game against it. So they're like, the losers are going to play on TV on the same day as the winners.
You know, if they're going to have a redo, they should, like, up the stakes somehow. Like, there's going to be, like, alligators and fire and spikes.
Like, we're going to pull out some, like, old school, like, first time around XFL stuff. It's going to be like that old game. Did you ever play Mutant League Hockey or Mutant League Football?
I've heard of it.
Oh, my God. Like, I'm not a sports ball guy, but having a zombie with a football and like landmines in the field blowing other players up, and like you hit them too hard and they explode and like, you score. That was a pretty sweet game. So I like to see something like that. Like you want to, like that's fine. You guys didn't win. Okay, well, that's not cool. But you could still play. Like you could still go play somewhere else with explosions and blackjack and hookers, and it'll be fine. We can have our own like chili bowl game thing.
Well, all right. What did you guys think of the sports ball thing, or did you? Because I didn't.
Yeah, yeah. You have to leave us your opinions.
Yeah.
On the sports ball thing.
All one person that's watching.
Okay. Like we got one person chiming in here.
We had two for a second. There's nobody in the chat room.
No, I got somebody. I got people chatting in on my Twitter and all that good stuff here. Somebody said you had me at Slipknot, so that's a nice segue, I think. Like do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, all right. I saw an interesting article on blabbermouth.com here on January 24th. Celebrity Laundryman, and apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Celebrity Laundryman says Slipknot's clothes were most disgusting.
I can buy that.
Yeah, I mean
these are the guys that wanted to cover an entire field with camel shit and then do a live performance because they wanted to burn. One of the ideas was they wanted to burn 50-gallon barrels full of camel shit, so that like at Knotfest and whatnot you would remember what it smelled like. And I'm like, first of all, and this is not a knock on anybody. That's totally acceptable. Like, have you ever been in the crowd at Knotfest or any festival like that?
Dude, I never leave the house.
Okay, well, you don't really need to lay camel shit down. Like we're already good on the smell. Like it's almost did like a Christopher Walken there for a second. It was like, ooh, the smell. But yeah, the guy said that like their stuff smelled like.
Well, let's see if there's a direct quote here.
Yeah.
Top. I don't do names. Said that
that's
washing
not a real name.
artist clothing involves high stakes, revealing that he once accidentally shrunk a pair of gold pants belonging to David Hasselhoff and ruined a $3,000 vest belonging to Janet Jackson. Now, I was expecting there to be a quote about Slipknot, but that's freaking hilarious. Like David Hasselhoff's gold pants.
Well, if you
that's the name of my next prog band. David Hasselhoff's gold pants.
David Hasselhoff's gold pants. I like it. Slacker Steve and Hasselhoff's gold pants.
I love it.
It's great.
We're gonna do songs and time signatures like 1/3 and 1/4 over 4 million.
Oh, that's great. Everybody.
Is that physically possible? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. If we got any, math people out there.
Let's see if there's like an actual quote here about Slipknot.
Well, if you've ever, he's looking for that. If you, answer me this, Slagger Steve. Have you ever heard any of the stories about some of the stuff that they've done with those masks? And it's not anything we can't talk about here, really. We won't get into specific details, but one of them involves, Corey Taylor wringing his mask out with sweat and a fan drinking it from a shot glass.
Oh, no, no.
Among other things, so.
No, thank you. I mean, nothing against him. I wouldn't do that for anyone. So.
Yeah, no kidding. And the thing is, it's like a heavy metal Gallagher at this point. At Gallagher, I mean, I'm gonna get hit with watermelon in the front row. At Slipknot, I'm gonna get hit with Corey Taylor's spit and camel shit. I smell like Corey Taylor and camel shit. So basically, I mean, I'm gonna stop the joke right there because fucking, he's gonna chime in on that shit. And I'm not gonna insult the guy. Like, I get it. Like, it's totally joking. Like, it's fucking funny. Like, we're not.
Dude, he doesn't live that far away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have no beef with Slipknot. I do not want Mick Thompson to show up and punch me in the head. Like no, it's funny. Like, but it's their laundry is.
You know that first album that they put out like before they were signed, and they had like a different singer.
Anders Kolsefine.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I found that CD in some backwater thrift store in the middle of nowhere. And I was listening to it, and it's like really different. Like there's moments where it kind of sounds like jazz, and then there's like the new metal that we all expect from Slipknot.
And some of the sounds
it was just all over the place.
Some of the sounds from that album are actually him like putting his face up to the mic and tearing electrical tape and shit off his own face. It is, but yeah. I'm
gonna do a song like
allegedly. You know,
allegedly.
Several years, decade or more back, I had the honor of opening for that guy. Honored, I guess, depending on it. He's a nice enough guy. I mean, like, they're like, yeah, I was the former singer for Slipknot, and I was like, wait.
I wonder what that guy's doing today.
I was like, what? They got a new singer? Like, what the hell? Like, I didn't know. I wasn't. You know, that wasn't what I was into. Like, I knew Slipknot was and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, it's hard. It was hard to avoid them when they were in their heyday.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Like, but I had no idea of. And I mean, I guess the story was that, like, you know, they kind of ditched him for a more, like, you know, listener-friendly voice as it was, you know,
gotta go where the money is, right?
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, as somebody who's seen them both live, and I mean, has listened to both their albums, I mean, you can't argue with success. Two different, you know, it's two different. It's like comparing two different, you know.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges kind of thing. Both have their, you know.
Well, you know, when people like tell me that artists have sold out or something, I'm just like, where the fuck do I sign? Because I want $1 million. Well, I will play anything for $1 million.
And at some point too, you got to go. Okay, the guy was on the original CD before they got signed, right? But how many albums have they made since then? Millions of tours, millions of dollars, like all this. I mean, at some point, you also have to go. Okay, slow down, bud. You were on the first unsigned album that they printed 500 copies of. Calm down. Like, you're good. Like, that's fine. You have your own talents. But seriously, dude, Corey Taylor is the only singer of Slipknot.
Yeah, I'd have to say so.
That's, I mean, I don't really think that's so much respect to,
so,
Corey and Mick Thompson, all them guys.
So when it comes to bands with the most disgusting like costumes that a celebrity laundryman or even a regular laundryman has to do, like what bands come to your mind? Like, I think Ozzy's probably be pretty gross.
Nah, he doesn't move around that much. He's just a sweaty old guy. Right? I mean, and before,
well, I mean, I saw him in 2010, and he was like spraying like foam and shit into the audience. Like
but he's foaming like Ben Gay. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, let's face it. Like GWAR.
Oh, absolutely.
Does GWAR is hygiene even a thing on GWAR's planet? Like,
I mean, people that go and see a GWAR show is going to have the most disgusting laundry ever.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Like, I don't even, you know, I think that would be. I just imagine them like hooking that up. Their tour managers, like, okay, so there's this dry cleaners because I have a source inside on this one. You know, sometimes they will. That's what they'll do if they're going to be in town for a day or two or whatever. They'll send it to, you know, a nice, you know, place, get it done, have it sent back to them, whatever. So I imagine them going, oh yeah, GWAR, cool. Yeah, well, you know, we clean costumes, whatever. Yeah, we can do all that shit for you. And then, like, the lady at the dry cleaner turns around, and it's just GWAR all standing there with, like, brushes, going, we're here, clean us. And it's just like this lady at the dry cleaner, like, scrubbing GWAR clean, because that's how they clean themselves on their planet. I think GWAR should do, and GWAR, I mean, if you guys are listening, I actually have there's a really nice place where we're located. Shoot Slacker Steve a message or something. Like, we'll hook that up for you next time you guys are in town. We can totally make that happen. Long as we can film it and put it on our show. We'll provide the dry cleaner and the ladies and the brushes. Straight up. Uh-oh. I'm going to get an angry email about that one. I'm about to get a message if a couple of people are watching right now.
That's all him.
Yeah. They're going to go, why would you is GWAR? It'll go from, why did you volunteer us from stuff to, wait, I get to scrub GWAR with a brush? Yeah.
They should totally, before their show, like, sell packages, like, oh, I guess it'd be after the show. Like 10 lucky fans get to clean GWAR off at the end of their set. Like, there are people that would totally do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably do it.
It'd probably be fun.
Just once. I mean, just once. I mean, I guess once is really all you can.
I imagine like once GWAR takes off their costume, there's probably like another layer of just like grime that like they can also peel off and then throw at an unsuspecting passerby and go ha ha and run away.
Well, we just creeped everybody out.
Yeah.
Like you guys got that's got to be a euphemism for something now. I was like, dude, he got caught scrubbing GWAR. We're like,
hashtag scrubbing GWAR. Make it happen.
Hashtag scrubbing GWAR.
Another band I think would probably have like super gross outfits would probably be Kiss. Like, not only do they wear all of that makeup and all that pounds of clothes, but I mean those guys are pretty active, especially for being old.
Is it bad that just the thought of them like being all gross and sweaty is more like mentally and like in my gut, like give me the BGs, like I got the bubble guts now when I thought about having to clean off Kiss. That's worse than GWAR. I would not buy that package.
Well, I think GWAR is pretty cool, but
yeah,
I mean, as much as I love Gene Simmons interviews, I love how brutally honest he is. But I don't want to clean Gene Simmons.
No, that's way worse. GWAR, it's like, you're our alien overlords. It's my privilege to like scrub GWAR. Kiss? Oh no. Guess what? There's one product that Kiss is not gonna put its label on, and that's me. Like I ain't doing it. Nope.
Well, I can't really think of any other bands that could be that disgusting. Maybe Halford's like jockstrap at the end of the night, his like leathery jockstrap, but he changes like outfits like between every song, so it's
I
probably
just
not
got the
that bad.
mental image of Gene Simmons saying it as Gene Simmons, not like singing it, just go lick it up. Like,
He's used that line like picking
oh,
people
come
up.
on, like that's.
You think Paul Stanley's ever gone up to somebody and go, "Let me give you my love gun"?
Oh, that's great. Probably. He probably doesn't even have to go that far though.
Well, all right, now that we've creeped not only the one person listening out and ourselves, but anybody in the future watching,
yeah,
and our future robot overlords.
Yes.
Hello, I hope you don't kill us if we're still alive.
And I mean,
If we're dead,
congratulations on defeating GWAR.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if you're our overlords now, you defeated the almighty GWAR, and
Yeah.
Damn. They're our only hope.
Our only hope. GWAR is our only hope in the fight against the robot technocracy.
Dude, I hate sand so much. It gets in everything.
You know who else didn't like sand? Anakin Skywalker. He walked right into that.
Oh no, that's why I said it.
Oh.
That's why I said it. I was like, I'm just gonna say it just because if anybody watches this in the future, that's gonna just the triggering intensifies. I hate that line in the movie.
I don't know. The prequels have kind of become cool, like ironically, in the last like few years or so. And to be honest, I like the prequels. I mean,
I thought they screwed Darth Maul.
Darth Maul was such a cool villain.
They wasted him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I wish he would have been through the whole thing.
Yep, because even in Clone Wars and stuff like that, in the animated series and whatnot, he came back like a couple times, didn't he? And he was all like robotic, and that storyline just.
Well, and that also reminds me, spoilers. All right, why the fuck did he just randomly show up in Solo?
That's what.
Like I know the movie didn't do very well, so they're not like gonna go on with that. So we're not gonna find out why he was.
Yeah, I watched Solo the other night, and I thought it was
really good.
I thought it was good. It was so good that I almost bought a Lando cape. I found one.
You should get a Lando cape. You can wear it on the show.
It was discounted to $35.
Yeah.
It was all blue and it was nice looking. I was like, and my daughter was like,
"Well, you should get that and get yourself some Colt 45. You'll be all good."
Oh, don't for Billy D. That'd be great. No, I don't have the looks. Like, I mean, Donald Glover pulled it off really well. Like, he pulled off a young Lando really, really well. But my problem with that movie is that, like, with him. Okay, so wait a minute. Like this, Solo takes place shortly before the first Star Wars movie, right? Mm-hmm. It's a pretty short span, I would imagine. Yeah. How the fuck did that kid go from that to Harrison Ford, and Donald Glover went to Billy D? Like, man, this was supposed to be like a few years, man. I get that people change, but like, with all the CGI, you couldn't have just put... Harrison Ford was making movies when he was super young. You could have just, like...
Well, and I know a lot of people didn't like Tarkin or Leia from Rogue One, and I thought it was pretty good. I remember when I saw it on the screen, I was tricked completely. And it wasn't until I got it home, and I guess when you're at home, you pick out more details, or at least that's the case with me. And I could totally see, like, oh yeah, it kind of is like PS3, PS4 graphic looking a little bit, but... I still thought it was impressive. I liked it.
I didn't have any issue with it. I don't know. I thought the.
I mean, my attitude about things are, it's like I'm going out to have fun and watching a movie. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and. I mean, I'll pick it apart for fun with friends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the original Star Wars movies have some of like the weirdest continuity errors. I mean, Luke and Leia. Hello. Like, you can't tell me that George Lucas was, like, planning that and wrote the scene where she kissed him.
No, he did it. He just did it to be gross.
Although, I guess, we got Game of Thrones, so it's kind of a thing now. So maybe he was a trendsetter.
Oh, man, that's... Oh, I feel like you need a high five. Because I feel like you just connected two things that don't go together at all and simultaneously pissed off every fan of everything in the world all at once. You just covered all the Star Wars universe right into Game of Thrones, which carries over into a whole bunch of stuff, and it just all, like, wow, that was pretty good. Like, you heard it here first. Like, we just tied in. He just tied in. No, you know what? Like, we just tied that in.
I mean, I can tie pretty much anything in together.
We're gonna have to go into that on another show sometime. How Game of Thrones.
How Game of Thrones is secretly in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yep.
Probably in the Star Wars universe. That'd make more sense.
Yep.
Well, I read this thing that apparently George Merton wanted to have a Game of Thrones world in Westworld, and he actually like pitched it, and they like turned him down. I'm like. That might have been lame, but that might have also been kind of cool.
Well, and that's how it was in the... have you ever seen the original Westworld movie?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They had the different parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they could totally do that. And in this season, you're going to... Well, I mean, in last season of Westworld, you saw a little...
Spoiler alert! Keep going.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it by now, just stop. Stop.
Yeah, but still, we're going to be courteous.
Fine. Yeah, you saw a little bit of like I don't want to call it like Asian world because that sounds like not good, but I don't know that they specified if it was Japan but it was some sort of like I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm comfortable talking about season 1. If you haven't seen season 1 by now, but they
call
spoiled
it East World. Isn't that what they called it? I believe.
No, it was like Shogun World or something like that.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, anyway. Since I don't have a good way to transition into our next topic, let's do a bit of shameless self-promotion here. So, I recently set us up a podcast link. So if you don't want to like watch us, you got a couple different options.
You don't want to see these mugs?
We're up at Podbean and Soundcloud, and I did not put it in the description like during this live stream, but it will be in the links below probably sometime tomorrow. So if you want to like sub to that and listen to us on that, like we totally understand. Plus, I like the guy upstairs gets to put a little like extra work into the audio.
Also available on your mom's butt. No, just kidding. But I don't know.
That's not a good place for that.
Now broadcasting live.
And then in addition to that, follow us on the Facebook and Twitters and blah blah. And this is where if we were sponsored, we put an ad, but we're not. So. Moving on. So you sent me this story.
Sponsored by Scotch and crippling anxiety.
Well, I know I'm already sponsored by that. All right, you sent me this. Wanted man comments on his own Facebook mugshot and leads police on a hilariously chill manhunt.
This guy's awesome. Oh, So I mean, basically, like, they commented and they had said, hey, like, we're looking for you, whatever. Like, they always post stuff like this to people who didn't show up or whatever. And it's basically this guy answering them back, tweeting the police department back and forth.
Yeah, I got a thing right here. So it says, Wanted Wednesday, what's his name, is wanted by the Department of Corrections for failure to comply. And I got a picture of him. And he's got a handlebar mustache.
I swear I know that guy.
I know, he looks familiar.
I'm not going to say, I'll tell you off air exactly who he looks like, because I don't want to just like slander somebody on air, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so in the comments he put, calm down, I'm going to turn myself in. Or do you think it was more like, calm down, I'm going to turn myself in? Like, what do you think the tone of that was?
That tone of that was, calm down, I'll turn myself in, man, mellow. Like, mellow, I'll be there. Just, I'll get there.
So apparently he didn't show up. He was just kind of chilled out enough. So they sent, hey, Anthony, we haven't seen you yet. Our business hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if you need a ride, you can call a non-emergency and we will pick you up.
It's almost like the police department like issuing the most formal booty call of all time. They're like, come on, man, I'll give you a ride. You were supposed to be here. Why didn't you come, baby? Come on. I'll pick you up. I'll be home between this time and this time. Come on, I'll send an Uber, everything. Like, that's the sexiest, like, most formal invitation to come and turn yourself in I've ever read.
Well, then it moved on. He said, thank you, tying up a couple loose ends, since I will probably be in for a month, blah, blah, blah. And somebody asked if he turned himself in. They said not. And then later, quoting Anthony... Oh, shit, I shouldn't have said his name. I didn't say his last name. Dear RPD, it's not you, it's me. I obviously have commitment issues. I apologize for standing up to you, but let me make it up to you. I will be there no later than lunchtime tomorrow. I know you have no reason to believe me after what I told you, but I promise that if I don't make it on my own by lunchtime tomorrow, I will call for a ride to assist me with my commitment issues. Thank you in advance for your response. If you are patiently giving me another chance with us... Did I fuck that up? I might have. I don't know if I deserve... I know I don't deserve it. P.S. You're beautiful. And apparently he didn't show up by lunchtime, because the next post by the police department was, Morose Monday. Dear Anthony, is it us? Last Wednesday we reached to you... We rouched. We rouched to you as wanted. You replied and even said you were going to turn yourself in. We waited, but you didn't show.
Wait. I got an idea. This will be hilarious.
All right.
Okay. Morose Monday. Dear Anthony, is it us? Last Wednesday we reached out to you as wanted. You replied and even said you were going to turn yourself in. We waited, but you didn't show. After you stood us up, we reached out again, this time offering you a ride. You replied, said you needed 48 hours. The weekend came and went. We were beginning to think you were not coming. Please call us anytime. We will come to you. So you're gonna read his responses, and I'm gonna read the police department responses.
All right. I don't know if there's any more left. Here for our date, sweetheart. And then a picture of him outside, and then... Oh, yeah, that was it, so...
Okay, scroll back up to that top part.
Scroll back up, all right.
There you go. Okay, so read his top part again.
All right.
Like you're talking to a chick.
All right. Calm down. I'm going to turn myself in.
Hey, Anthony. Haven't seen you yet. Our business hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Of course, if you need a ride, you can call non-emergency and we will pick you up. Ooh. Smile, thumbs up, hearts, emoji.
Well, that was from other people.
I know. But I feel like stuff. You got to read it as it is.
Thank you. Tying up a couple loose ends since I probably won't be there. Since I will probably be... God, I suck at reading. Thank you. Tying up a couple loose ends since I probably since I will probably be in there for a month. Jesus Christ. Should be in there in the next 48 hours. Then some other guy. Has he turned himself in, Richard WA Police Department?
He is not.
Anthony Ackers, a man's word is all he's got sometimes, and it seems like you don't keep your word. I don't know why they have southern accents, but... Dear RPD, it's not you, it's me. I obviously have commitment issues. I apologize for standing you up, but let me make it up to you. I will be there no later than lunchtime tomorrow. I know you have no reason to believe me after what I did to you, but I promise that if I don't make it up to you on my own by lunchtime tomorrow, I will call for a ride to assist me with my commitment issues. Thank you in advance for your response. If you are patiently giving me another chance with us, I know I don't deserve it. And I know I totally fucked that last part up. P.S. You're beautiful.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the same thing you said before.
Yep. Morose Monday. Oh, that's great.
We just subjected, well, nobody right now to us doing that
awesome.
twice.
Oh, that's great. That's what happens. That's what happens with a live show.
Yeah, we just kind of mess around.
I was like, well, that seems funny. Let's just go back and do that again. And even if it's not funny the second time, it'll be funny because we went back and did it again anyways.
We're like George Lucas. We're like George Lucas. We're already giving you the special edition just like right afterwards.
Damn. Slacker Steve did you drink my grape juice that was in the fridge?
Yes.
Shit.
I probably shouldn't put my can right on the microphone, huh? Every time I take a drink, it's like kerchunk.
That's what she said. About putting her can on the microphone.
I mean, hypothetically, a woman could also put a can of soda on a microphone, too. I mean, I don't know what you're getting at, though.
I love this. Slacker Steve is awesome. Slacker Steve is so innocent. My little wine thief. That's great.
Oh, well, all right. Well, it's getting pretty long. So let's...
We're going to talk about...
Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
All right. Take it away.
So she left the Critics' Choice Award to be by the side of her dying horse. And people, it's pretty much like black and white on this. Like, there's really no gray area. Either some people are talking smack about it, or people are going, dude, that's really sweet and nice. What happened was the horse that, she's had for quite a long time. She was at the award show, and like her horse was dying. It was like she describes it as like her friend, like a spirit animal and stuff. And she had such a connection to it that she's like, it's an award show, dude. It's not that important. Like, I gotta go be with my friend. And some of the haters are like, oh, you're gonna leave a award show to go be with your friend? Yeah. Who cares if it was a horse or not? Like,
I don't know. Like, the pets that I've had, I've always been really attached to. I can totally see that.
Yeah. How are you? And this is beyond even a pet for her. This like even deeper than that.
Yeah. I mean, that's
like. So I think people are being, really cold about it. Like, who cares, dude? Like, what?
Well, it's like she left an award show.
Big whoop.
I mean, I could understand, like, if there was, like, a surgeon, like, working on somebody and they're in the middle of, like, sawing their, like, bones out and whatever, and somebody rushes in and goes, doctor, your horse is dying, and he, like, rushes out and lets the guy die. Like, that's...
Bingo.
Like, I can get that, but...
There's things that are just more important than a stupid award show.
Yeah, I mean...
And which I mean, that kind of tells you how cool of a person she is.
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
Like, and I mean, that kind of was a nice segue into A Star Is Born.
Yeah, so...
Because if you weren't a fan of hers before, I mean, I think seeing this movie, I think, just the way, the work that was put into the movie, the way she acts, just as a human being, I think warrants checking her out if even if you're not a fan of her music. You might be a fan of her acting. I mean, she was good in American Horror Story.
She was great in American Horror Story.
She's so multifaceted. I think you can probably find something that she does that you'll enjoy.
Yeah. Well, and I saw the movie over the weekend, It was one of those like really shitty, like torrented, like movie theater guy pointed at the camera shot.
Wow.
So yeah,
the old school.
yeah. Well, it's not out on DVD yet, so I watched it on there, and I wasn't sure what I was gonna think of it. It didn't seem like it would be my cup of tea or whatever, but they open up the movie, and it starts with this badass like southern grunge rock and roll riff, and it's Bradley Cooper like playing a character. Fuck, I can't remember his name.
Which, if I understand correctly, he did quite a bit of work. I mean, he's singing and playing like he.
I listened to the soundtrack album. Like all the songs on there are great.
Before we went on air, didn't we?
And his band, like, go check that out. Like, that's like legitimately like great rock and roll music, and of course the stuff that Lady Gaga put on there is also great too. It's a great soundtrack, really good movie. I actually can't recommend it enough. If you like love stories, it's not always my thing, but in this time it actually works. And if you like sad movies, or if you like musical kind of movies, like it hits like so many buttons. Like it was really well done.
I have trouble watching sad movies, even if they're even if it's a really good sad movie, I just don't like them because. And it's like, okay, well, this is gonna be sad. Well, why the fuck do I want to watch it then? I don't want to be sad. Like, I mean, not that I don't watch those kind of movies, but like, I like being happy.
Well, there are a lot of happy moments in it too, so it might be worth
it. Which makes it even worse, because like, hey.
Oh yeah, it's soul crushing at the end.
Oh, here you
That's
go.
For sure.
Yeah, don't be scared, little fella. Just eat it right out of my hand. Stop. like, well, why? But every time you offer me the food, I just keep going for it, and I just keep getting stabbed in the chin. Like, but I guess what I mean to say is this movie and the soundtrack. If you're gonna let anyone stab you in the chin repeatedly while they feed you, you should let Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga in this movie. You should let them do it.
You know what I couldn't get over the entire time is, like, Bradley Cooper is Rocket Raccoon, right? Like in the Guardians movies, and I could totally hear it in the guy's voice. I was just sitting there going, he's a raccoon.
Hey, let's go, rabbit.
Rabbit.
That's what we should have talked about.
Well, I mean, we're on.
Well, it's not really like the Avengers Endgame theory that's going on right now.
Oh yeah, I try not to dive too much into them because it ends up like always disappointing me.
Well, they kind of feel like they spoiled it because of the new toys that they released.
Oh yeah, don't tell me anything about it. I want to go in completely blind.
Okay.
All right.
Well, needless to say, if they do what it looks like they're gonna do, oh my god, like, it is going to be the most epic trolling of all time. Like, if they do what I think they're gonna do, they're gonna pull them down and just drop a big steaming pile on everybody and be like, haha, we had you guys going for over a decade, and then we just like, meh, and it's gonna be bad.
Well, I guess we'll talk about it once the movie comes out.
Well, the segue for that is that, like, this movie, while it won't get this movie, as good as it was, is not going to do the numbers of something like Endgame, but it has, as sad as it is, so much more depth. Like this movie, it's and the soundtrack and everything. Nice. No, you like that segue back into it? Like,
smooth as a baby's bottom.
Shitty Marvel movie ending for the whole MCU right into. But if you don't want a steaming pile of garbage, you should go check out this soundtrack and this movie, because it might not be as money making and blockbuster hit wise, but it won't be a big steaming pile of crap. But it might make you a little sad. A little bit. You should have a friend with you when you watch this movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You should have somebody that you can hug when you watch this movie, so you're not sad.
Like immediately after. Like,
yeah. It's not. Don't watch this movie alone. Like that. That's my advice if you're gonna watch something sad, especially this.
Well, I had Tim with me, so it worked out. Well, all right. Well, I think that's all that we had planned. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, next week we can talk after we have more of an update about the Static X reunion that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I didn't find anything on that after you mentioned it, so if we see anything, we'll mention it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the. There are some bands that are on the bill. I don't have that right offhand, but yeah, there's the whole lineup that's going to be with them, and somebody's going to be replacing Wayne Static, and we'll talk about who maybe.
Every time I see a picture of Wayne Static, I want a Slim Jim.
Oh, if this wasn't the live show, we'd put that graphic up. Like,
Hey, I'm working on that. I'm working on being able to put graphics up live, too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, all right. Well, that's all we got for you tonight. Like, nobody's in the live stream right now, but anybody that shows up later, if you made it this far, we appreciate it. Hit subscribe, do the notification bell, put fuck you in the comments.
Yeah.
And
tweet us.
We'll say thank you, sir.
And please, sir, may I have another?
Yeah, you can follow us on the Twitters at the Entity Prod.
And I have Twitter and all that stuff too, but find me.
So, that's it for tonight.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Slacker Steve.